So the purpose of my experiment of the moving Geisha is to find out if I could use a servo motor to make her spin her parasol. Now the question was if it was possible to do it. My hypothesis was that I believed that we would be able to do it because I used servo motors before and I knew somewhat how they worked, and I figured I would be able to do it. So for the materials, there were popsicle sticks, a Lego servo motor, foam balls, Sharpie markers, googly eyes, spiky pom-poms, red felt, heart-shaped stickers, glue, glitter glue, normal Legos, strips of whatever these were. I have no idea what they were, and the snap circuits. The data that I collected was that after unsuccessfully using the first servo motor, in which you can clearly see here, it was cut. So after unsuccessfully using the first servo motor, I was able to make her spin her parasol with the second servo motor. The results of this was the Geisha was able to successfully spin her parasol where her cyborg arm was attached. And the conclusion is that I was successfully able to make my Geisha spin her parasol, with the motor being on to make the servo motor spin. So this, as I stated, this is failed. This is the failed servo motor. But then we have the entire procedure. So for the procedure, we make the Geisha by attaching a popsicle stick to some red fabric, and when you attach it, you are going to kind of loop it around and glue it down. Then after that, you're going to take a foam ball and you're going to impale it with the popsicle stick that was glued down to the felt. Then in the little hole created by the popsicle stick, you're going to put in the glue, and then you're going to place it on the other popsicle stick that's attached to the felt, and let that dry. And once that's dried, you can kind of move on to the face decoration, where I used googly eyes, and I drew on googly eyes to make eyelashes, and which look terrible. Glitter glue was used to glue them on. It looks kind of fancy. Her eyebrows are all wonky because one's all the way down here, and her eyeballs are a little wonky as well. But then I figured that we could also use some of these little gems to put on her hair, and then a spiky pom-pom to make her bun. Now, what you do here is that she would need support. So, like, I used the lid, as you can see. I used the lid, and we tied a string to the lid handle so that she would be supported. Then we took, stay there, poster. So then we took a red popsicle stick. I swear. Okay, we took a red popsicle stick and a plain popsicle stick. Okay, I'm just going to do that for a second. So we took a red popsicle stick and a plain popsicle stick, and we cut them both in half. The original idea of the project was to make her wave a fan, but that didn't turn out correctly because of the way the servo motor was. So we resorted to a parasol. So we weren't able to use the upper half of her other arm, because we did make another half of the one arm. And then we had some glitter glue here to fancy up that one sleeve. And we had the servo motor and we placed it onto the popsicle stick, but the Geisha would have just fallen over and would have taken the entire lid down with her. So we glued down a base, and my mom craggled all of this together with help, and that's how we got to support the servo motor. So then for the parasol, we cut a foam ball in half and we wrapped it in some red felt. Then we took a random blue spiky pom-pom and glued it to the top, took some fancy silver glitter glue and did a design around, and then we made a little bit of decorative thing with whatever these strings are. It kind of just looks like a sad hat with spider legs, but it's still fine. And here is how she spins. And on the servo motor, as you can see, the green button is what makes it work, turns it on and off. But then this switch right here is what makes it change direction. So if you kind of look, it's going that way, but then when you do that, it goes the other way. So this controls which direction it goes in. So, yeah. Oh yeah,